One of my favorite things about Supreme is the collaborations. You know, every season you get the lookbook or like the complete range that they show off, where it's, you know, every single piece that they're going to drop themselves, but you don't know the collaborations. You don't get, you know, get those teased. You find those out week by week. So, you know, it leaves some excitement. And honestly, like a lot of the best pieces, especially I feel like that, a lot of my favorite pieces come from these collaborations instead of actual lookbook pieces. Like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of good stuff that comes from the lookbook, but the collaborations are always cool. I always love seeing who Supreme collaborates with because they just do a great job at picking up kind of like these random collaborations that you would never think of, like these small people, or maybe like some director from way back in the day who isn't necessarily popular now. They definitely tend to focus towards kind of like these cult followings that aren't like super mainstream, but they definitely have a very, very like loyal following, like a cult. But anyway, we will get into the collaborations of this season, and I pulled a bunch of them. I may have missed like one or two collaborations, but that being said, the collaborations were definitely not that great this season. So if I did miss one, comment what it was below and I can like tell you guys what I thought about it. Most likely I did not like it. I'm also going to try to go in chronological order, with the first collaboration, I want to say week 2, being Nike. They had these Nike SB Dunk lows. These were gross. They did not look good. I do not like them at all. The white and red colorway was all right, but the material they used for the tongue and then the swoosh was just weird. It almost looked like it was kind of like this rubbery, like matte material with a weird like metallic, I don't know, it just was very strange. Looked like a very cheap material, and I did not like it at all. There have definitely been way better Nike collaborations, and actually there was a way better Nike collaboration later this season that did not include footwear. Week 3, I believe it was, might have been week 4. They did not do a collaboration every week, which, you know, is normal for Supreme. They don't always have collaborations, especially the first week. Like I said, the first one was week 2. But the next collaboration was Ben Davis, who is a workwear brand. They make workwear clothes similar to Carhartt or like Dickies or something like that. And I thought this was a really cool collaboration idea, or like brand to collaborate with, but I don't think the execution was necessarily great. A lot of the colorways were just kind of missing for me. And another big thing I didn't care for was the color blocking. So the color blocking paired with the colorways just really did not do it for me. Moving on, you have Velvet Underground, and I think around this time they also did the collaboration with the dude who had the lady with like bleeding everywhere. I'm not sure what it was. I'll throw a picture up of it. I don't think I captured this one, so let me get that one out of the way. I did not like this collaboration. I don't think it was cool. Some people like the rayon, the button up, but I did not. So I've heard of the Velvet Underground. I'm not sure if I know any of their songs, but I didn't think this was a crazy collaboration, and I remember this sitting for a super long time. And on top of that, just the designs weren't that good, I guess. It definitely leaned more towards Velvet Underground than Supreme, which I guess a lot of their musical collaborations especially tend to do. Like they'll use some artwork from an album or something like that, and then put like a little small Supreme logo on the back, or maybe like the bottom right. Usually they don't get too involved in the design in that sense. This next one was a big one, Lacoste, and Supreme has had a bunch of Lacoste collaborations. I want to say probably like 4 or 5 or so. A lot of the designs, especially the hoodies and those shorts up on the top right, reminded me of like some Aeropostale or like Hollister or something, which I didn't care for at all. And everybody liked it so much. Like I really wanted to like this collaboration, but I don't know, I just really did not care for any of the designs that much. I mean, some of them were all right, but there have definitely been better Lacoste collaborations in my opinion. Next up, we have the Supreme Fox Honda Supreme Honda Fox collaboration, and this was probably my favorite collaboration of the season. I thought it was really cool, and they released a full-on dirt bike for this. I don't know the production numbers, but it was definitely very low. And they also did a bunch of different wear, like yes, they did the racing wear, but they also had a crew neck and then a work button-up that was embroidered on the back. I think they might have actually even embroidered, you can see there's a dirt bike on the back there. They might have actually embroidered that whole dirt bike. I forget if they did, but those button-ups looked super nice. Those hoodies really nice. And the jacket with that like Honda wing was really cool. I don't know. I really liked it, but I know it wasn't the most well-received collaboration. I can understand why, I guess, but personally I thought it was really cool. These Vans, do I even have to say anything about this? These were trash. Like the colorways, booty, the liquid metal, or I forgot what it was called, some type of metal, I want to say they called the font, or like the color of the font. I think that was trash. That was gross. That's disgusting. Those shoes sucked. Next up, you have the Levi's collaboration, and I always get excited for the Levi's collaboration because I really like Levi's stuff. They've definitely had some cool Levi's collaborations in the past, but I will say the last couple seasons Levi's collaborations have been lacking, and this season was no different. You can see the black colorway especially, it shows they did this like different colored piping, and I really don't like pieces that have this. A lot of like denim stuff will do it, so like it makes sense to have this stuff like that, but I just do not care for that at all. On top of that, the ARC logo is just kind of weird to have on the chest like that. It would make sense like big across the shoulder blades or something like that. On the chest there, I think it just looks a little bit weird. Especially since that ARC logo is more of an athletic font. So this is North Face Part 1, and I forget exactly what this design was called, but it's just the Statue of Liberty. They put this on the puffers, they put this on the mountain parka, and then they also had like some hoodies and some tees where you have the North Face logo, the little Supreme box logo, and then a design on the back. I forget exactly which design was on the back, but I do remember liking these. And then you have the bags, which I do not really care for the bags too much. They're not bad, just the silhouette is kind of weird. It's like the sack, which is definitely usable. Like, it makes sense to have that silhouette because North Face, you know, they're like hiking, extreme weather stuff, so it makes sense to have that silhouette. But there are definitely backpacks or backpack silhouettes that I like more from Supreme, like those steep tech ones that they did with North Face. Those were awesome. Anyway, I was on the fence about this design, the Statue of Liberty. A lot of people really liked it, and I do think it was better than the like mountain ones that they did, where it was just like a bunch of mountains in the background. You have the Nike Air Max 95 leather Italia or something like that, I want to say. This is gross, disgusting. The Martin Wong collaboration, this is bad, this is gross, I don't like that. We have the Rimowa collaboration, which I know people got like crazy hyped for the previous Rimowa collaboration, where it was just the like black and red suitcases with the big like sup on it, and then, you know, obviously the rest of the spell out on the other side. This time it was just spider webs or like broken glass, I think. Yeah, this time it was just kind of like a shattered effect, and I really don't think this is cool. I think this is kind of whack, especially for how expensive these are. So here we have like part 2 of the Nike collaboration, or whatever you want to call it. And I really liked a lot of these pieces, but they're made out of leather, which is just, it ruined it for a lot of them. Like, you have this leather anorak, which would be ridiculously hot, and then you also have this leather baseball jersey, which is just like such a strange material to make a baseball jersey out of. But if they would have just chose a normal material, I really like the designs on them. You have just like the big Nike swoosh on the front, and then a fat Supreme box logo on the back. Cool colorways, in my opinion. I like the colorways. Supreme and Nike usually do this also, where they'll release some sort of jewelry. I know in the past they released a Nike earring, and then now they actually just released a Nike ring, and these are super expensive because they're like actual gold. They did some sunglasses, trash. The bags, leather, I don't know, weird. Also, since everything was leather, it was super expensive. But then if you look down in the corner, you can see some bandanas, and I really like these bandanas. They were super cheap. They're like 20 bucks for the bandanas. I ended up getting two out of the 3 colorways, so if you have a black and purple one and you don't want it, feel free to send it my way. But yeah, very high potential to be a cool collaboration, just very strange choice to make everything leather. The Dead Presidents collaboration was next, and this stuff sat for so long. Like, they probably still have stock there. Just not a lot of love for the band, I guess. I think the designs are all right. They're very safe, like nothing wild, which may have been why I didn't sell out too much, just because it definitely, like I said before, swayed more heavily towards just the band than Supreme. So there's just a lot of band branding, not a whole lot of Supreme branding, so that might have been why. And lastly, we have North Face Part 2 for fall/winter 2019, and I think this collection or this design was terrible. It was like the crumpled paper. I'm not exactly sure what they call it. They might have just called it the paper nupsy and stuff like that. But basically you had the pants, the jacket, and then the scarf, which the scarf looks like some of the packaging that they use, where it's those like inflatable bubbles, like the big ones. It looks exactly like that. Not only do I not like the silhouettes, but I think the design is trash. Like, it's literally just crumpled paper. And I want to say this got teased super early, like 2 years ago almost, or at least a year ago. People were getting this, like some people got their hands on it somehow, and pictures were surfacing of it. People thought it was going to release last year, and then it finally released this year. But I think it was terrible. I really don't care for it. I definitely like part 1 of the North Face fall winter 2019 a lot more. That being said, feel free to leave a comment. Let me know what you guys thought of the season. Were you a big fan of the lookbook pieces? Did you like the collaboration pieces? What was your favorite collaboration? Are there any collaborations you would like to see in the future, or ones that you thought had more potential and they just kind of didn't execute very well? I don't know. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.